Who else we got? I heard another ding dong.
Nope.
No? Oh, maybe that's the go live button. Oh,
Right.
Steve's as a guest. Steve's on as a guest.
Oh, no. Actually, I clicked on Steve's email.
That's why. So you're not going to show up as you. You should leave
Yep.
and click on your email, pal.
All right.
Because that's got a registration tied to you, okay?
Yep.
In a minute. There you are.
Better?
Yeah. Much better.
Are you proud of me?
I'm always proud of you, pal. You seeing my screen? My pregame?
Yeah.
Okay. How's it looking? You got stuff down one side and me and you on the right?
Yep. Looking good.
All right.
So I should mute my thing when it starts, or are you going to just mute everybody?
Yeah, you can have your stuff on. Yeah, once everybody gets going, I'll ask everybody to mute just so you can control the noise a little bit. You know, I find that if we make it a little more participatory and show behind the curtain a little bit, people will be a little more forgiving on any kind of misstep or anything like that, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm excited, buddy. This is our big prototype kickoff, right? I can't wait to see how this thing comes in. In my mind, everything works perfect. I can't wait to see how it is in real life.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. That was, nice update from Lori.
Yeah, I found that interesting. We'll have to have a conversation, follow-up conversation with you and I on that.
Yeah. That may make things easier, better for moving forward, cutting deals.
You know, Kevin, when I went to the agenda link,
Yep.
it said I had to
Register.
register. I had to join. I had to give my email and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that'll be something like if somebody doesn't have a Zoom account. So that's what I'm trying to avoid, like a double registration. I found some little app that ports that data over. So if you register an Eventbrite, you shouldn't have to do that in Zoom. But I got a couple weeks. I'll take like a Saturday or something. I'll just go like all in on that Zoom training because when we get into breakout rooms and moving people back and forth and all stuff, last thing I want to do is have any tech issues. And the things I looked into, they seemed like they were a little, you had some stuff going on. Hey, before I forget, I'm just going to go ahead. Okay, pause recording. I am recording it. Are you seeing recording on your end?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That was one of the things, it's one of the things I wanted to make sure that I did. I put on the agenda was start recording. On Zoom. Insert. I'll be interested to see how their playback functionality works as well. They do it as like an on-demand. So between now and next week, we could push the heck out of that. The people can watch it or they can register and ask questions and stuff like that. Can you hear my music at all?
A little bit.
Super, like really faint?
Yes.
Okay. I tend to like to have it on as like what I like think of as a little audio wallpaper. Just a little something so you just don't get like that quiet thing all the time. I try to emulate more of like how it was in the lab, which reminds me I got to keep my skateboard close by. My visual aid. Proof I'm not a jerk and you can trust me. Right here. This is, look, read yourself. It says right here, he's okay. Hey, so how about I got this one really awesome story that I thought would be relevant for this audience. This kid from TJ comes to state, and he finds himself in the Idea Lab, and he's listening to some stuff. I got him sucked into some workshop somehow, and afterwards I got a team meeting, and he hears all this stuff going on. And one of the things is that we're talking about is we're looking for interns, and you know what the requirements are. And at some point he raises his hand, he's like, "Can I be an intern?" Right? Because he was like drinking the juice. And then he got in, so he came on with me, taught him how to do workshops. He went into the Innovation Center on a project. He got into the Lab and Entrepreneurship Center. He got a job at the Lab and being their accountant. He got a internship at KPMG in San Fran for the summer, came back, got into the master's program, and just finished his master's. And he sent me a note, couldn't have done it without you. Right? And I'm like, that's awesome. You know?
Great.
I remember this one quote. He's like, I never thought like being a TJ that I would ever get to work with people like you. And that's when he first came in as an intern. And now, you know, he's accomplished all this. He's done all this stuff. And now his self-perception is, you know, people like us kind of stuff. Yeah, nice little story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here's one of my quotes on here, right? What he has to say, he says, "This year has been one of the best of my life. Never thought I'd get somewhere. Thanks for the help. Never thought I'd get to be so motivated. Thanks for the help. Love, Emmanuel." Kind of good shit. Oh, all right, 12:55. Get a little nervous. I feel like looking outside, like in the driveway. Are they here yet?
Well, I'm concerned that Lori and Steve aren't on.
Yeah, right. You're right. Coming.
So that means you are going to have to, if I came in the other way, I was going to have to register.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like. Ding dong, there's Lori.
Yep.
Hey, buddy.
I will text Kevin or Ed and let you know.
What's going on?
Hey, Steve can't get on with the link that you sent him.
Is he trying to link from the agenda?
From the one you sent, join as panelist.
Yeah, that's what Eddie got in on. Yeah, actually, Ed got in on Steve's link. Eddie, can you send him that email or that link you used?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Because I kicked Ed out. I wanted Ed to show up as Ed and Steve to show up as Steve.
It's not like a one-time use or anything, is it?
Mm-mm. It's panelist access. It's proprietary. Can you find it, Eddie?
Yeah, I
Okay.
will.
Oops, I just sent you an email, Kevin. Never mind, I meant to send that to Steve.
Yeah, no worries. Laura, I have to take a little picture of my of all the stuff we got going on. It's quite the wall of stuff. This is something I don't think you could really do without two monitors.
So you sent me a picture of the stuff, the wall
Yeah,
of stuff.
I took a screenshot. I'll send it to you, but here I'll just show you kind of what it looks like.
So others on the call can't see or hear us, correct?
Yeah, no, we're live. We're broadcasting.
Okay.
I just forwarded him his email.
And I got you guys front and center right here, so I'll be able to see anything that comes in. And Lori, we're gonna have to get you one of these little McDealies.
Ooh. Oh yeah, the light.
Yeah. Yeah, I was super bored on one of the last 80 whatever days. You know, I was flipping through social ads. I'm like, oh, go look at that. And they're like, little light. How's this? Hey, it's only $40. All right, so we're at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 12:59.
And it's coming. I'm expecting people to be coming in, so I'm hoping we're not seeing any emails like, hey, I can't get in.
Steve, are you in? Did I hear your voice?
No, he's not showing up. I have a participants list broken into panelists and attendees.
Ed, can you mute and call Steve, see if you can give him a hand?
Sure.
Yeah, our link is broken. There are people registered who should be on the call right now.
So you're just making an educated guess here?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
Which we can fix, I'm sure, but
yeah, here, invite, Gmail. Steve-O, I'm going to send this out to to you guys. Here, who's this? Lori. Oh, of course, it's not the right one. Okay, I'm going to put this in chat. This is our live link when I go to invite. And then I'm going to do a quick note to all registrants. Just as, hey, if you're having any trouble getting in, here's the link.
That's great. Thanks, Kev.
For us. What's up, Steve-O?
He's on mute.
All right. We have 21 registered before it shut down. So let me just do this. Manage attendees, emails to attendees. Create new attendee email. Right. Right. Access. BeHealth is right now. Just in case you accessing the webinar. Please use direct link to join us now. Right, send now. Okay, everybody has that in their inbox. Okay, it's queued. Subject of email.
So you don't have to admit participants, correct? You did not
No.
set it up that way?
We've got one attendee. We got somebody coming. Oh, somehow I'm Candace as guest. Huh. I don't know why. I don't know how to talk.
Ooh.
We got one guest coming in. I don't know why they got my name on it, but we'll see. You. All right. I really want to send now.
Hello, welcome to the call. Who just joined us?
Devondre.
Check the chat.
Oh, hi, Dee, Devondria. This is Lori, and welcome. We are ready to go with a great Learn event, and we're thinking that there may have been an issue with our link. So thank you so much for joining us, and hold on just a couple of minutes. We're trying to do a shout out and send some TA to your fellow community members who have also signed up. Kevin, I am getting a text from one of the participants that says, trying keeps telling me internal meeting only.
Let's see what that means. We have it set as public. We have registrants. D is showing up as an attendee. So that leads me to believe that we have the proper permission set, Lori. Let me figure out what I can do about getting this going.
Okay, the person I'm talking to is pretty tech savvy and just registered through BeHealth website this morning.
Yeah. Can you share this link? I'm going to put it in the chat again. Actually, it's the same one that's in the chat. Would you be able to share that with them?
Yes.
Right, and I'm trying to email our message, our team, our participants, and it seems as if I'm in the queue, but they want the emails to attendees. We're broad because I hit our broadcast button, so.
So Devondria, while we're waiting to get started, I wonder if in the chat box you could put your organization, why you're joining us today, and what you hope to learn.
Let's see here, Fresno. Kylene is joining us. Kylene, welcome to our event today.
Hello, Kylene.
Hi. Lori, I don't believe we've met yet.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for all the support you've given the project so far. we're really excited about the partnership with Fresno, and we're very clear that we want to have some mutual learning. We want to get to know you and, bring some ideas that we have, but, most importantly, to work in partnership. So thanks for your great support.
Yeah, thanks for giving us the opportunity to get youth involved.
Yeah. Kylene, did you have any issues in using the link provided for you for the registration to access this today?
I was going to mention that I struggled to find the link, and then also once I was at the right page, I didn't realize I was supposed to click on the video. So I was kind of going back and forth between Eventbrite and the website.
Yeah, interesting. All right, we've got to figure out how to address those issues, Lori. Let's see here. I've got an email queued up to go to everybody with the short link, and it seems as if we're queued up, but it has not sent it out for some reason. So if everybody just give me a second, I'm going to see if I can't circumvent this and see what I can do to fix this. Meals attendees.
Thank you so much, Devondria. I appreciate it. And you know what? Why don't you unmute for a minute and let me know if I keep calling you by your name and I'm not certain I'm pronouncing it correctly. Could you unmute and...
Yes. Hi, Lori. Thank you. Yes, you are. You did beautifully. There was no choppy, and you pronounced it correctly. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And thanks for letting us know a little bit about you in the chat box here. We know a little bit about Kylene because she's been working with us to do a video to help get the word out. So did you happen to see that online, Devondria?
Dr. Tiffany White, I don't know as much as she's playing into this project, but she had put a Facebook post out, and we've worked together in the past, and she's phenomenal with services, and she's a good clinician. And so I wanted to not only support her, but to see what ideas maybe Kings can have. And this was late last night, I seen it. So this morning I sent it out to my program manager over Children's System of Care and just said, I know it's not our county, but we are always looking for resources. And Kings is obviously much smaller than Fresno. So I'm always about how we can either implement services that maybe other bigger cities are doing. So I sent it out. I don't know if she was able to send it out to our team in enough time, but I did put it out this morning.
Terrific. Well, thank you. So we've already got another one of these events on the books. So we wanted to, be able to scoop in anybody who wasn't able to make it today. And depending on how our link goes, we'll see how many that is. But so glad you've joined us, and definitely let's be in touch and follow up after. We're happy to see what kinds of supports and resources we can bring to you in Kings as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Very good. Lori, I'm just going to get, I found out a way to bypass the system, and I'm going to directly invite all of our registered guests.
Okay.
And then I think we can do kind of a giddy up and get moving so that we can keep on schedule and then address anything afterwards. We do have this recorded, so we'll be able to share this on demand for those who come in late, and we'll go from there. Okay, that's out the door. All right, Lori, we got that out our door.
Terrific, thanks.
All right. Well, what do you say we start a conversation about the good stuff we've got going on over here today, Lori?
Well, I'm actually thinking that since you just sent a link that works, maybe we'll wait maximum 2 minutes to let folks join us so that everyone isn't coming right in the middle. Does that work?
That's fine. That's fine. I've got a little housekeeping back on here. I will remind everybody, too, that as you're getting settled in, if you could, we've got a couple other guests that are joining us as well, which we'll invite Ness and Anna to be able to, here you go, Tiffany, it looks like our email, people are getting our email or figuring it out.
Terrific.
I do appreciate everybody's perseverance. And we'll have a little chat about what we've got going on. But as you're getting settled in, if you would please to remember to put your phones on silent or unforbid, God forbid, I've heard people shut their phones off in meetings there, Ed. A little something different. And do turn on your video camera. We welcome everybody to join us and meet with us face to face. That's one of the things we're trying to do to make sure that we're able to develop new relationships with our colleagues and those people that we're here trying to help today. Do take a look at your video controls as we'll go on here. If you are unfamiliar with Zoom, you will see that there are some controls across the bottom that give you some controls like we have controls, things to be able to mute yourself, start your video, chat. Those are most of the things that you'll be doing in our presentation today. So I find more and more people are getting accustomed to being in Zoom meetings, Lori, and getting a bit more proficient. I even had one client who said that she had to, in a pinch, figure out how to do a Zoom off her phone, and said it wasn't nearly as hard as she had supposed it might be. No worries, Anna. And it says she's got no camera, no speaker. Ugh.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Speaking of trying to do it off your phone, Anna, that's no worry at all. I know that it is feasible because we just had to have somebody do the same thing. She had been able to enable the. You just in fact, all you have to do is go to depending on the phone that you're on. If you can download the app for Zoom and then click on the link that you have, it should do most of the work for you.
All right, Kev, I think that we've given at least a couple minutes for folks to come in with the new link. So I think let's remind folks to introduce themselves in chat, and I think we can get started.
Yeah, I think so. We can get started as well. Let me move a couple of these last bit of things around and get my document in front of us. I did remember to turn on the recording, so we've got that for our friends to follow. And I think we'll get it started. Let me throw down my background music. Thanks, Ed, for the reminder. Coming through loud and clear, buddy. Ed's on the timer roll today. And let's start our conversation. Let me turn my phone off because, inevitably, it's the guy who tells you to turn your phone off who has the phone that rings during the meeting. So thanks again, everybody. Tiffany, I see that you've come in as well. So please feel free to turn on your camera and join our conversation today. And we'll get started with our program.
And Kevin, we're just getting an acknowledgement in the chat box that when you've joined with audio only, the screen can look a little different. So thank you, Kylene, for the heads up on that.
Thank you, definitely.
We'll keep an eye on the chat box, so if anyone has an issue or a need, we'll be able to respond to you right away through that. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome to everybody from Fresno County and parts they're close by, as it sounds like. We've got some guests from other places as well. This is the first event that we have in our process, this called BeHealth. This first step is called Learn, and it provides everyone interested in our program the opportunity to learn more, ask questions, and make an informed decision about participating in our program. My name is Kevin Popovich. I'm the program director for BeHealth, and I'd like to introduce my co-host, Lori Clark, the Chief Program Officer at the Social Policy Institute at San Diego State University. Welcome this afternoon, Lori.
Thank you, Kevin. We are so excited to be with all of you in Fresno and Kings County and parts beyond, but really want to give a shout out to our partners in Fresno County who have really helped us to get the word out and to get started. So by way of overview, I just want to say a couple of words to get us started. That what is BeHealth anyway? Well, what we're here for is to provide an opportunity for transition age youth, their friends and family, and also members of the members of the community. It's all about relationships, right? So the idea is to come together and to generate new ideas about innovating behavioral health. And during this event, we're going to unpack that and say much more about what that means. So again, as Kevin said, I am with San Diego State University Social Policy Institute, and we are partnering with the Idea Guy, our very own Kevin Popovic, to bring this event to you. And then again, our partners, while we bring ideas that have been tested over time that you'll hear about today, we're all about the relationships and about partnering. So some of the folks that we're partnering with within Fresno County already, you see their logos there. We're deeply grateful to the Department of Behavioral Health, who is really sponsoring this event and has created the opportunity for this to happen. And you see some of the other organizations there as well, many of whom are very closely partnering with us, and we're appreciative of that. You know, we're mindful that we're in San Diego, you're in Central California. While we're bringing you some fresh ideas, we don't for a minute pretend to know you in your county and your various communities and your needs. So that's really what's behind the partnership. It's our way of working together to get this right and to bring you something that's not just a program, but that's practical and has some real meaning for you.
Okay. Now, as we get started here, I'd like you to just stop, take a minute, and get ready to be focused and a little mindful, right? We have all taken some time out of our schedules together to meet one another, to learn about each other. So I just want you to kind of just get yourself in that mindset that we're here to focus on how might we be able to make positive change for transition age youth in Fresno. So as we get started here, Lori, we're going to do just a quick survey of our audience participants. We just want to know who's in the audience. So allow panelists to vote. I'm going to launch our poll, and if everything get correct, you should be seeing a poll by now. How'd I do, Lori? Are you seeing the poll?
Yes, it came up clearly.
I love when technology works, right? So please share with us who you are, make a selection, and then I'll share the results so we can all understand who is in the audience today. Please take a moment and do that now.
Enjoy.
Lori, this is where I have to remember to plug in the Jeopardy music next time. So it's
Yes.
an audible cue on how much time you have left.
And if you are within a role that you don't see there, just go ahead and type it into the chat box.
Yeah. Tiffany, I see your note there as we're waiting for everybody. Hello to you. She says, I do not have access camera. I don't have camera access, participants, or see others in chat in this meeting. So I'm thinking if you're not seeing everything, I wonder if there is something to download. Geez, I'm not sure how we might be able to do something else for you, Tiffany. I don't have camera access. Let's see, because I've got you here. Disable, promote the panelists, remove. I don't know that we can do anything else at that moment. Okay. Thanks, Ness. I saw your left another Zoom meeting that had access to all these things. Yeah, Tiffany said she left another Zoom meeting that had access to all of these things. And we're seeing stuff. Well, I'm not sure. Tiffany will, as I get some times, I'll peek around something in the back. We'll see. And we'll see if we can't do that. So thank you for your patience and obviously your support. All right, I'm going to end the poll here. We can get an idea. Looks like we've got some respondents and poll and share the results. Lori, please let me know that we're seeing the results as well.
Yes, they're showing.
Very good. So we've got somebody in the 22 to 25 age range for transition age youth, local CBO, some local government, and well as other. And I saw that S is in human resources. So thanks, everybody. I wanted to just make sure that we all kind of understood who was around so we know how to best orient the conversation. So I'm going to stop sharing our poll here. Okay. And keep us moving forward. You ready, Lori?
Yes, let's go.
All right. So this is get to the fun part because this is what I get to tell you about, the thing that we made for you. So BeHealth is based on work that I've done as the idea guy. And as the idea guy, my job is to help people come up with new ideas that solve problems, issues, challenges, whatever the vernacular that you may use may be. And I found that people can quickly identify real problems, organize teams online, and execute what I'll show you to be an innovation funnel. It's the graphic I'm showing you here to create solutions easier, faster, and better, right? The innovation funnel works in a multi-step process, and that's what I'm showing you here. And I'll go more into details about this, but it is the learn, work, develop, and present. Those are the steps that generate the ideas at the very end. So we learn about some things together, we work on them together, we develop the best ideas, and when we present them for consideration, and that's how we're going to make change in behavioral health. So it all makes sense. And of course, if anybody has any questions at any time along the way, you can raise your hand and you can pose questions in the chat. My team is monitoring that, and we'll make sure that everybody is able to get that going. All right. So as we look at the learn mode, right, this is really about helping everybody understand issues and opportunities, right? So I keep saying that in learn, as much as it is getting you up to speed on a program, that's getting us up to speed on Fresno and your community and the people involved and the perspectives of the people involved, right? Because everybody sees something. And so we want to help everybody involved in the problems that we see learn about what each of us is seeing from our perspectives. There's a little learn, there's some networking. You get to meet some people perhaps in your area that you have not got a chance to meet before. And it's an opportunity for us to kind of learn together. Right? Now, today, our program around Learn, we've got obviously some specific things we want to account for. Obviously, this overview of BeHealth, overview of issues. Lori will walk us through. Review the program and specifically what's in it for you. Right? We know everybody has got only X amount of time, and there's a lot of different things that we prioritize. So I want to make sure that you understand what other transition age youth has seen in the program and got out of it, so you can make an informed decision as, is this program right for me? I will share a couple stories from when we've run this program before and what we learned. I'll give you a crash course on design thinking, which is a process for creating new ideas. And then I'll give you a little sneak peek into some really cool technology called Idea Scale. When we get down to all the work, we get a little playtime at the end of the program. We'll also show you how you can get some fabulous merchandise just like this, and this, and this, and this by participating. So you have an opportunity to earn some of this different gear that are tools to help you along the way by your participation. So that's what we're going to do today. Sounds like quite a lot, doesn't it, Lori?
It does. So, you know, I'm excited about that merch too, and I've got my own water bottle and t-shirt on the way, so fun. So let's dig into those issues. So what I wanted to share is that when we're talking about behavioral health or BeHealth, we're really emphasizing the health part. It comes with wellness and resiliency. And of course, there are many issues that go with it. And because there are so many issues related to behavioral health, that's why we need so many ideas. And so this program is all about bringing that innovation. So we've got a definition here of BeHealth or behavioral health. It basically means the promotion, again, of positive mental health, resilience, and well-being. It also includes treatment of mental health and substance use disorders. So those two used to be pretty separate, but we consider them both included within BeHealth or behavioral health. And as I mentioned earlier, the idea here is that we're not only supporting the transition age youth who may be working with, thinking about, struggling with one or more behavioral health issues, but because of the community approach, it includes friends, family, and community support people as well. So let's talk about some of these issues. The first one that I want to mention is adverse childhood experiences. And basically what we're talking about here is events or a series of events that may have happened in childhood that really have a lasting impact into transition age years and even into adulthood. So these include things like child abuse and neglect, family violence, loss of a loved one, and there are others, but that's the kind of flavor with that. And what we find with adverse childhood experiences, not all of them are experienced as trauma, which is our next issue, but some of them are. And so the idea that we're thinking about here is that within trauma, we know that it's widespread and pervasive, and most of the time it doesn't go away on its own. So one of the issues that many TAE are working through is a level of trauma and its impact that they have experienced. So we want to create an open door and some opportunity for creative and innovative ways to address that. We also look at youth mental health overall. And so again, there are lots of issues included here: gun violence, the impact of COVID-19 and this global pandemic that we're in the middle of. And you know, part of what we think about, and you all may have heard this saying before as well, we're all in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat. And so there are a variety of resources for navigating what is happening, what the issues are. And this program is about bringing ideas and teams together to help us figure out good ways of moving forward. We also want to name as an issue suicide prevention. For those of you that may not be aware, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States right now. And the percentage is higher, sadly and unfortunately, for transition age youth. So we want to bring this issue into awareness, into an openness, to be able to recognize the signs and to know what to do once we recognize those signs. Also, we want to look at the area of treatment and recovery, as I mentioned from, you know, the definition that it includes part of that, which is the reality. But we have the opportunity to say, how do we reduce the stigma? How do we increase access? How do we make it not an onerous thing to go to or to do, but something that plays a meaningful role in helping TAE to become the person that they want to be? And then finally, I want to call out wellness. I want to come back full circle, that whether we're struggling currently with issues or not, the idea is we want to focus on living life to its fullness. What is our pathway forward? Where are we going? How can we contribute to our own wellness and to wellness for others within our community? So this is a range of issues, along with addiction and substance abuse, yet another. So this is sort of the, you know, idea of any of these areas could become an issue of focus that within this program, youth and their teams can come together to create a way forward.
Yeah. And then just to build on that, Lori, I think that, the last one, just recognizing the symptoms. So there's all these issues that we have, right? But, how might we see something early in order to mitigate the impact, right? And that's what a lot of people have been trying to figure out. So there's lots of things for us to talk about. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things for us to talk about, but there's also a lot of opportunities for us to be able to make a positive change, right? So again, Lori, here's the last of our list on that as we get ready for yet another survey. So we'd like to be able to learn from everybody about the issues that you're seeing in the community. So I'm going to launch another poll, and if you would please vote as you see fit on what do you think the biggest issues are around transition age youth. So please go ahead and do your vote now, and then we'll get an understanding of what the audience sees.
Has everyone had a chance to click on the survey?
Yeah, coming in. Going once.
Playlist for us.
Yep, okay. All right, let's end the poll and share the results. And this is what we're seeing. Recognizing symptoms, treatment and recovery, suicide prevention, addiction and substance abuse, and trauma. So definitely a lot to learn from around the areas, and perhaps that's where our participants can best focus their efforts. Okay. All right, Lori, I'm going to keep moving forward if we can. Stop sharing our poll there. And get back to the rest on process. Right? So we've identified the different issues. Now, right, how are we going to come up with these ideas that help innovate around these? So again, the process for BeHealth follows this innovation funnel model. And I want to give you a kind of a quick story because, whenever I attend things like this, I'm like, why should I listen to the guy on the webinar or the girl on the webinar? I'm very interested in why I should listen. So, this stuff all came from when I was teaching at San Diego State. I was teaching creativity and innovation and management, which means I was teaching people how to be creative. And in that, I learned that there was a lot of youth who didn't have a lot of confidence in their creativity, and they didn't believe that they could change the things in the world that they wanted to. So I oriented my TED Talk around how creativity can change the world one bad drawing at a time. And I showed them how even those bad little doodles that you do on your notebook or that you do like on your desk and you're not supposed to write on your desk, there's meaning in that, right? And a lot of people were very concerned about sharing those doodles and whatnot to somebody else because, oh, I'm not very good. But I showed them that those doodles have a very important role, and it's to communicate the things that are in your head because sometimes words just don't work. Right? So I will share a link to the end of this, but I want you to take away two things. One, you are all more creative than you think that you are, and also that you do have the power to make change. That's my big message. Everybody has the power to make change. I'm going to show you how to do it. Right. And this process I was able to test with the 42,000 students, faculty, and everybody else that was at SDSU for years. I had to get up in front of a bunch of people and help them be more creative. In fact, that's how Steve Hornberger and I met, and this whole team came together. Right? And then what we learned is that I could teach these things to individuals. This is my staff at Zip Idea Lab. And each one of them was able to come in and learn how they can make change. And then they were able to help other people learn to make change. So much so that this is what I got when I got out the door, which was the big giant autograph skateboard, which I still treasure and keep in my studio, which is all the kids, again, the same age bracket that says, thanks KP for helping me believe that I could do this, and I could, right? So I share this as pieces of proof because I'm bringing the same thing that I did at State and the Idea Lab for all those youth to this program. Right? And that's what I want to make sure that everybody understands. It's not like, hey, we're just going to do this little bit, this. You lean in, we're going to lean in. And we're going to do this together every step of the way. So you don't have to know anything outside of you want to learn more and you want to make change. Okay? So the learn mode is where we're at today, right? And it looks very much like you're seeing in most of your screens if we got all this to work right? I'm on a screen, you got people off to the side, and on any device, you're able to participate. And then as we move forward, we'll get into some other technologies like Idea Scale. This is something else I'll show you. It's an innovation management platform, and you can go and you share your problems, and you can vote ideas up and down, and you can work with other people to make your ideas better, so that when we get into development mode, you already have some progress made on that. So you don't have to worry about, again, you don't have to know anything. You just have to say, KP, that looks pretty cool. I want to learn more. And we will get you into that. When we're done with Learn today, we want to get you into work, right? And work is the workshop. Now we're going to work on our ideas, right? And this workshop is designed to generate new ideas and build a prototype. Right? And this is actually a prototype from one of the workshops that we did at BeHealth. Right, so all a prototype does, it's a visual demonstration of the idea that you have that you can hold up to say, this is my idea, let me talk about it, right? It's this and this and this and this and this. And it allows you to get feedback, right? So we'll talk about the different things we can make prototypes out of, and you'll be able to further your idea, right? Because all this stuff is iteration, right? You come up with an idea and you make it better, and you turn it into a prototype and you make it better, and then you test it and you make it better. Right? And then there'll be some other software like Mural. Like Mural is kind of like, you got anybody know Prezi, right? So it's like Prezi and Post-it notes, right? You kind of squish it together. That's what Mural is. So Mural is another fun technology that you get to play with. And I wanted to show you this, right? Because there's a quick little video clip. I figure that because you don't know me and what I can do, I've got a quick clip from a video, which I'm showing you a still from, of some students who've been through my program in the past, and I'm going to let them tell you what they got out of it. So if this all goes according to plan, right, this is kind of the part we want. And let me skip to the part where they tell you, there you go.
I worked on making a solution for a problem that I learned that he had. But through the process, I learned that I shouldn't be scared of having bad ideas. It's just part of the process. And it's about refining the bad ideas and getting to better ones.
We basically learned how to prototype, think of ideas, do an iterative process of like drawing everything out and talking about stuff out, and really arrive at a design working together with someone so you can iron out something awesome.
Today, I'm part of the idea workshop with President Popovich, and he really helped me gain a lot of epiphanies about how I was approaching my creative concepts and how I could work on them, and how I could positively get feedback from other people. And all in all, it was just a great way to expand my way of thinking, way of approaching problems and solutions.
Well, obviously we can't be doing that in person at the moment, but we can be working together. And that's really kind of what that's meant to demonstrate, that we work together through every little step, and that if these youth can do it, I have every confidence in you that you can participate as well. Right, so this gets us at the end of workshop and then moves us into develop. Right, now when you come out of workshop, right, you have this idea and like, hey, that sounds pretty good, and you might find other people who are interested in the same type of ideas. We're going to put you together on teams, so you can do it by yourself. You could do it with your friends. You could show up and not know anybody and find other people that are in the same stuff that you are. Right, but you'll come together through the develop phase to work on your project. So you're going to take the idea you had at a workshop and you're really going to turn it into something. And this will be a 2 or 3-ish week span that you'll get coached online both at the same time and at different times using our application called Basecamp. And that's what I'm showing you. So again, from any device, it's kind of like Dropbox meets chat with a little social network involved in it. Everything you need for your projects in one place. There's a little schedule that tells you when stuff is due. And I am available through your whole project when you have questions and when you need help. My job is to make you look like a rock star at the end of your presentation. Right? So again, you don't have to know anything. You just have to say, I want to learn, I want to help, I want to develop an idea, and we will coach you through all of that. This is a couple screens.
I want to just say a quick word about that too, because you've shown us a whole lot of technology, and I'm excited about the online whiteboard, frankly, of using stickies virtually, sticky notes and moving things around, and I've seen it work with you, and I just love that. It's a lot of fun. And I'm one of these people that thought, oh, that's too high tech for me. I can never figure it out. But I just wanted to take a moment to pause for everyone and say that we're already anticipating that some of you on the call with us today, you're already at the top of your game with all kinds of technology. It'll be easy for you. It'll be very fluid, while others maybe not so familiar. This is not something that you have to come in with high tech. It's great if you do, but it's fine if you don't. We're going to coach you through every step of the way. And if something like what you're seeing right now isn't familiar, even Zoom, we're going to do the coaching. We're going to provide the support that will bring everybody along and help us to be together in very strong and successful teams.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. We definitely see different demographics have different aptitudes for technology. So as we get into this stuff, I'll tell you kind of what it's like from things that you know already. And again, my job is to make you comfortable with all this stuff in order for you to continue to participate. So again, as long as you just stay open and curious, you're going to have a chance to learn quite a lot of new things along the way. And you have to, in the short-term thing is that you'll be able to complete the program. The long-term thing is you're building your skill set. Like, you're not going to unlearn like a process. Like, once you learn the process, like, oh, if I do this and this and this and this and this, I can come up with a new idea. Well, you take that moving forward with you on any other personal projects. You take that into your job. I was sharing with Dr. Pimentel from Fresno County this morning that 3 of the students that were on my team took what they learned and they were able to get jobs because they knew this process. So there's a lot in it for you in the short term that you get to impact what goes on in your community and how it impacts you. But that long term is you learn a skill that helps you be better than you are, no matter what you get into. Okay. So a couple of the things I want to show you what it looks like. This is me working with the team. It looks very much like this. We get into a webcam, we throw some stuff on the screen. I share, you share, we look at stuff together, and we just work on stuff. Probably not too dissimilar than maybe you do homework like in group projects right now. And we go through all the steps, and then I coach you on how to best present that idea. It's around storytelling, because you will get in front of a bunch of people. Kind of like this, again, what a full Zoom looks like. I just did one for Design for San Diego. We had 201 people that my team had to present up in front of. But again, my job is to make sure you're prepared for that, and you guys look like rock stars when you stand up there, so that people understand what you're seeing, the change you want to make, and how your idea might make that change happen. Right? So that's why I'm coaching you through that. We did this from a group here in the BeHealth program when we ran it in San Diego. This was a girl who had an idea for a suicide prevention app. And all she had was this idea like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could do something to impact suicide? And at the end of our program, she was able to stand up, tell the story of why she wanted to do it, which was very moving. Most of us have personal reasons or some connection to somebody that motivates us to work on different things. She was able to show screenshots of, hey, maybe the app looks like this, because I was able to show her a way to kind of comp up what the app looks like. And at the end of the presentation, you had people that were interested in her app, right? And that's how this stuff all work. So during your presentation, you'll get feedback that, again, is intended to make your idea better and to help answer the questions that people have about doing something with your idea. Right? So that's, we want to come in, we want to generate new ideas, but we want to make changes. And I just want you to understand that at the end of this process, right, that's where ideas come from. If you do these things in a row, I guarantee you will generate ideas. I've done it for too many years. It's what I'm good at. It's what I'm responsible for. And it's what I'm committed to in helping you reach your goals. Right. So that's our process. And I've got a quick question for our group, Lori, around their confidence level. So if I can ask another quick survey, I want to know, based on what I shared with you and how I explained it, what do you think your confidence level might be in completing our program? From 10 being greatest confidence, 1 being the lowest confidence. Please vote. How does this sound? What do you think you'd be able to do this with me? Please vote your answers now. All right. Give you last minute. Again, if you could just select one of the answers, all the kids can play in the audience. All right. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and close the poll, share our results, and it looks like we have a pretty high confidence to be able to move forward. So I am very excited that everybody's feeling, for the most part, pretty good about this. And those 5s, I assure you, you show up, and I'm positive that I can raise those scores so you have a great confidence in moving forward. Okay?
Yeah, there will be personal and individual coaching as well as team and group coaching as well. So thank you for really showing that range. And the one thing that I love about this program is there's something for everybody in it.
Yeah, agreed. So I would like to just mention our next registration is open for those of you who already want to come into the workshop. It's at our Eventbrite page. It's at the BeHealth website, behealth.today/events, and that's called Work. We've got a different name. We've got a different picture to change it up. So please consider registering for that. Now, I will point out that the date is not set yet and we're going to do a survey here in just a moment about dates. So the registration is good. You can register right now if you were so inclined to jump so. But know that we'll likely be changing the date and time based on the feedback that we get from this Learn and the next Learn next Thursday. And please consider too, if you see some value in this program, especially the youth that are attending today, please share it out with your friends with your insight and perspective on it. Again, we see what we see in it. I'm assuming you're going to see something in it. And we are trying to reach the most people in your community. So we would appreciate any shares you can get. And we are all on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And that's all that we're at right now. So please share what you can. Lori, the next thing we wanted to chat with a little bit of some stories, and we work together in San Diego as well, and I thought you could just take people through a little bit, maybe some story sharing from what you remember some of these, as you thought they may be relevant with our audience today.
Yeah, so these were some great ideas that came up out of the San Diego team. You've already heard about the gal on the top right that had the suicide prevention app that was customized to the issues and to the users that she knew in her own setting. So that was very exciting. Top left, we had a whole team that came together with the idea of having a mobile treatment. And the premise here was that the last thing a person wants to do is walk into the emergency room. When they're already upset, they're already having a behavioral health crisis, that's not where they want to go. So it was really changing the setting, making it much more accessible, making it possible to have some of the environment that someone would be willing to go into and want to go in order to seek the treatment that they need. Bottom row in the middle there, we had a team that came together around an idea of outpatient to outdoors. So this went even beyond the concept of mobile. It's like, okay, where's the wellness and the positive mental health in getting out of doors and connecting with nature? But while engaging in an activity, how do we also do things that will build and reinforce positive mental health? And then finally, I'll just say on the bottom left, collective yoga. So the team here basically said, look, I love yoga. It's so wonderful and healthy for me. And the truth is, $20 a class may not seem like a lot to you, but it's a lot to me to go several times a week, which I'd love to do. So the whole idea here was to have a community-based approach where available opportunities for yoga on a sliding scale could be made possible. So this is just a handful of the ideas, and we wanted to share some of those just to give you a flavor of some of the ideas that are already bubbling up and to get you thinking about which issue do you want to lean into and begin imagining some of the ideas that will come to you as well.
Thanks, Lori. The next survey that we are going to share is around dates and times that may work best for you to participate in our workshop. So the first one would be around days of the week, right? What days of the week would be best for a 4-hour workshop? And this is multiple choice. You can't choose more than one day. Let us know the days that work best for you. Again, our goal is to serve the most amount of people. And then we will address times in a follow-up survey immediately after this. So please make all your choices now. It seems like we're getting a little bit of everything, right? If everybody could make their selection. Even if you're just not sure, again, just the ones that you think your first reaction may be best for. All right. So it looks like we got most everybody voting. And let me share that out. What we're seeing. Looks like Thursdays and Fridays edged out, but most everybody looks good Monday through Wednesday, some Saturdays, and even a Sunday. All right. So thank you. And now I'm going to send out another one around times. And again, this one you can choose as well. The best time of the day to start a 4-hour workshop. This is multiple choice as well. So if you're a morning person, I'm not thinking 8 o'clock is going to be your first choice.
But do the math in your head. You're done by noon if you start by noon.
Yeah, I know, right? But then you got to get up. And, yeah, 10 minutes to 8 doesn't work. There we go. It seems that's about everybody. Again, this is multiple choice. You can't choose more than one. And it looks like our guesses were about right. I will go ahead and end the poll because it looks like everybody has. We got a couple more in there. I'll give you just another 15 seconds to put it up. But overall, I think where we were guessing, Lori, was about the right. So I'll end our poll. Thank you for participating, and I'll share our results. It looks like 8 o'clock isn't going to happen, but 9 o'clock was a winner.
All right, that was pretty clear. Thanks everybody for chiming in. We really want to get a day and time that works for folks, so that's helpful.
Thanks everybody. I'll stop sharing that, and let's go back to the program now, where I give you a little overview on design thinking. So we've mentioned just a little bit around design thinking, but design thinking is the process that all this stuff is based on. The model, the graphic that you see here is a model for the process. And I'll go through and explain each one of them, how they work together. And this is part of what I consider the design thinking crash course. Most people haven't heard about design thinking. Those who have maybe aren't sure exactly what it is. And I'll give you something I think is a simple definition. But it's a process for coming up with new ideas that solve problems. And everything in design thinking starts by understanding what the problem is. All right. And when I'm talking about understanding the problem, we create what's referred to as a problem statement. And we'll review ours here in a second. But the problem statement has 4 parts to it. It always starts with how might we, because it's about potential, right? And it's help who, do what, achieve what goal. And then we add a little fire on it to get people excited on the end. But this gives us a sentence that starts being like, how might we help youth in Fresno better understand the challenges ahead of them so they may better prepare for their future, right? That's a problem, example of a problem statement. That's what we're working with here, right? It is when we start with the problem at the center, everything that we do around the problem helps us better understand it and do something about it. So design thinking starts with empathize. And when we say empathize, right, it's just like empathy. It's developing an emotional connection to the people involved in the problem. And there's different levels of this understanding, research, observation, engagement, ethnography. And we'll lead you through different exercises that help reveal that learning. But we want to understand the people involved, right? We started with the problem, right? And now we know who's involved in the problem, we think, right? So we start building empathy around that. And then with that knowledge, we want to define, right? We want to make sure that we're working on the right problem. Because many times, and maybe you've seen this from your own perspectives, you see people say, there's a problem with this, a problem with this, a problem with this. Hey, we should do something. And a bunch of people do stuff. But the problem doesn't go away, right? And often it's because they're working on the wrong problem, right? And we'll get into some examples during a workshop that'll speak to that more. But I want to make sure if you see something you want to change, that you're working on the right problem so that the change happens. I use the example, if anybody's ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first one, when Indiana Jones realizes the bad guys aren't going to find the treasure because they're digging in the wrong place. And I think that's why problems don't get resolved, because they're digging in the wrong place. The problem's really over here, and you've been digging over here. You dig here, you can dig, but the problem's over here. Right? So that's what we want to make sure that you understand. Once you define the problem and you're positive of what the problem actually is, then we can do something about that and come up with new ideas. Now we want to come up with a bunch of different ideas that help people solve that problem. Those ideas are then visualized as prototypes, like the example that I showed you with the Legos. We take those and share them with other people to test or get feedback on what those ideas are, and then we make any changes that we need to, and then we're able to present those ideas to others, so we're able to gather feedback. So together, that's how this works as a process, and that's how this process solves problems. So I want you to think of design thinking really as planned thinking, and this is different than maybe what you've done in the past, where you're like, hey, let's come up with an idea. And then somebody says, okay, what do you think we should do? And you're like, I don't know. What do you think you should do? Well, that's not much of a process. So that's brainstorming, but you can't really count on brainstorming being done when you need it, right? So this planned thinking usually takes the form of something like this, where we actually plan out, we're going to do this on this day, we're going to do this next, and then when this gets done, then we can do the next thing. And all this does is it documents what you're going to do so that you have something to manage against, instead of it being like, did you get anything? No, it didn't really come up yet. What do you think is going to be done? I don't know, right? That's not a process, right? So we want to give you a process for moving forward, right? Any questions about design thinking? I know we came quickly, right? And I wanted to kind of show you that quick overview, but if anybody has any questions, please feel free to raise your hand or post the question into chat, and then I'll make sure that we get them addressed for you, okay? So Lori, the next thing we've got to do is talk about, again, our workshop, which is coming up in the next 2 weeks. So again, if this is making sense to you, I ask that you go ahead and register so we can get a good idea of who might wants to be in that workshop. And we'll make sure that if you have any questions about registration, that we get them answered, about what's going to be asked of you. And of course, any of your friends that you think may get something out of soup, they are very, very welcome to join you. In fact, many times we have people showing up with a couple of their friends. It says, hey, we're not sure what we want to work on, but we wanted to do this together. Or they'll get another group that says, hey, we've been thinking about this thing. Can you help us make our idea better, right? Any of these scenarios around that, we are able to contribute, right?
And Kevin, that's really the beauty of bringing people together in the workshop, as you said, that you find like-minded people that have similar interests, and you may just end up deciding you'd like to work together and combine efforts. So whether it's on your own or with a team, there's lots of different ways to go about that.
Correct. So Lori, I think, as we're getting ready to summarize before I go into a little bit of idea scale stuff, I just want to encourage everybody involved to do something, right? Sometimes people say it's easy to complain, it's harder to do something about it. But as Kylene had said in her video, which I might give you a sneak peek of here in a second, change does not happen without action, right? So if you want something to change, you have to do something about it. And the first step that you can do is to register for our workshop. Recruit some others to join you. And again, I want you to take away from this that you do have the ability to make change in your world, in Fresno, as it impacts your life. You just got to do something about it. Lori, you have anything you'd like to add on to that?
Oh, I just think that's so right on track, Kevin. It's like the bottom line is we're all about change these days. The whole world has been going through some radical changes, and I think we're already primed to tell ourselves and to tell each other that it's possible, it can be for the better, and we can control it. So very excited about that possibility.
I am as well. So again, please share out that workshop. And we'll look forward to have people participating in that. And I think that's my cue that I get to get into some of the fun stuff, Lori, because I'm a big fan of playing with some different technology. One of the things I wanted to give you a little sneak in was idea scale. So
Kevin, could I just do a shout out real quick while we're doing the transition to idea scale?
Yeah.
First of all, I wanted to say that didn't see any questions in the chat box or raised hands, but since we're such a small group, it would be fine to simply unmute your microphone and speak up if you have a comment or question. So we want to give you another opportunity to do that. And while you're thinking about whether you might have a question or comment or not, I did want to reinforce what Kevin's saying, that we're really making a transition here. So this last little part, we're really going to be leaning into the technology. Cool technology, you'll be able to see what it looks like and how it's working. But if you've heard what you came on the call to find out about what we're doing, what the program looks like, you've weighed in on when the workshop is, if you need to leave for another commitment, you're welcome to do that. We also invite you to stay, and we hope most of you will, to see the technology part, but we are making a transition here. So last call, would anyone like to unmute your microphone and either ask a question or make a comment?
All right, I'm going to put someone in the spot. Tiffany, thank you so much for showing up and hanging everything in. Tiffany was kind enough to do a testimonial promo video for us. And Tiffany and I got a little bit of a chance to talk before the program. And Tiffany, I was interested in, now that you've heard more about the program, what do you think? And let's start with, what do you think?
I think it's definitely something that's doable. I think it's an exciting idea, and I would be super excited to see what people come up with.
Great, thank you. I know we had shared quite a lot about it, but I know you and I had a brief conversation, but now we get to kind of show you a little bit more about what's all involved, and we're very excited to be partnering with your department and seeing what we're able to do in Fresno.
Nice, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Last call. Okay.
All right. Listen, so let me show off. So this is this is kind of where I get a little excited about. It's a little bit about the technology. And this is stuff that we would usually do in person, So because of our new circumstance, we have to do things a little more distant. So the technology that we have around this, it's called IdeaScale. And IdeaScale is the world's leading innovation management platform. And as much as that sounds like a big mouthful, because it kind of is, really it's a platform that helps you manage the creation and development of ideas. And we use it kind of at the beginning of the process. And I changed it a little bit because a lot of time, like on the software natively has a big button that says submit your idea, right? And what I saw in the Idea Lab, it's kind of a big deal to come up with an idea. And a lot of people don't have an idea, but almost everybody can tell you a problem that they see. So I reoriented mine around submit your problem. So when you click on the link, this is, you get to the front page. We have one just for BeHealth. And you're able to come in, and I'm going to share this link in the chat with you. So if you want to kind of multitask and play, I want you to be able to come and play with all the toys that I share with you. So the platform, I'm just going to go over to the live version of this is in here, right? So this is actually the app itself. So when you click the link, because you haven't registered yet, it's going to prompt you to register, and which looks pretty much like this, right? You're going to click something, and it's going to say, hey, create an account, and you're going to go create an account and give you a little bio, so that the other people have some context for the problem that you're sharing, because I think as we're trying to build empathy, we want people to know who you are. We want them to know your name, but we also want them to know who you are, or a little something about them that gives them some greater insight as to why are you seeing this, or how are you seeing this. So once you get past all this stuff and you can come in and register, you have the ability to come in and submit your problem. So now I'm over in the live version, which is right here. Right, so this is all the application. You can click on campaign details. This will show you, get a little bit of information around it, and it shows you the flow that we have here, right? That you're able to submit a problem, you talk to others about refining the problem, we'll coach you through creating a problem statement, and then some of us behind the scenes will work on estimating the impact of that problem, doing some assessment of moving this forward. But what you get out of it is, first you get to share your voice, right? By going on anywhere on this, and you're able to click submit your problem, you can come in and say, what's the problem that you see? You can use your language. You can include attachments. It's just like social media, right? And because we want to know the problem that you see in your language. And you can, check off the different issues that it addresses. You can describe, right? You give it a title, you give it a description. You can add files, pictures, videos that help people understand what you feel is important to communicate. And then from those ideas, people are able to, make sure I'm not holding anybody up. People are able to give you feedback on that idea. And now you're starting conversations about it. And then when we get some people in there, you can start voting ideas up and down. And what we want to do is listen to everybody and the problems that they see, and then work with you on those problems to come up with a problem statement. So when you come into the workshop, you already get some pre-work done. Now, again, you could just show up at the workshop, not doing anything, and we'll get started from there. But we do want to invite everybody to participate early if you'd like. You can share your problem, and you get some kind of pre-workshop coaching with me and our team ahead of time. So I did want to kind of leave you with access to that. There is no wrong way really for you to use this. Clicking that link will get you into the system. You register, you post your problem. I moderate that. Eddie moderates that. I'll give you feedback on your problem. We'll have some conversations. We'll invite some other people to join your conversations around those problems so we can learn what you think is important for others to learn. And we can start facilitating the conversations that have to happen so that we can do all the due diligence and discovery around your problem so we can explore how might we make a change, right? And that's what IdeaScale is today. So I'm still under our time limit, Ed. Thank you for all your time prompts along the way. I don't want to go too much into the IdeaScale. It's really kind of an introduction to one of the different tools that we use in our process. And I do want to make sure that those who have some experience as well understand that We want to bring some new things to the table that engage more people, that excite our participants, and help facilitate that innovation that is going to make change in behavioral health. So Lori, that's all that we have on our program for today. Do you have anything else that you want to squeak in here in the last couple minutes that we have available?
No, Kevin, I just want to say thank you to everyone that joined us today, and really appreciate your being here with us in the conversation. If you think of a question or comment after we're done here, please contact any one of us or go through the website, and we'd love to have a further conversation with you, to acknowledge, to dialogue. And again, really just want to encourage everyone to reach out to the transition age youth and encourage them to register for the next Learn event. We'll have the link all worked out and the cameras and all that by then, but want to thank our partners who are already reaching out, and really just tell you how much we appreciate you and look forward to working together.
Yep, very much so. And Chris, I wanted to just give you thanks for showing up for NAMI. I want to show that, we've got you here. We acknowledge your help that you got there as much as some of the other groups, and just show you that, it's been really quite remarkable. Like, we reached out on a couple different ways. I'll share a quick side note. Tiffany and I obviously got introduced because, our groups are partnering together, and I reached out to other organizations in Fresno on my own via social media. And NAMI was one of the first to respond back as to, hey, we'll definitely support that. And so thank you. I think some of the people that have jumped on early are really demonstrative of your commitment to the community. And I look forward to learning more about your organization and what you've done, and how might we partner together to make a positive change in Fresno. So more good to come.
Can I throw in a couple things? I didn't speak up earlier. I apologize. I always save it for the end.
Yeah, please.
Sure.
So just to clarify, and I apologize for coming in late. To clarify, there is another session next Thursday. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I think what we've experienced is a little bit of our students being distracted with some other things, and that's why we don't have a younger group, whether that be college age or high school age. And I know I asked about the age of transition youth because I hear different age groups, 16 to 24, 18 to 26. And so I just look for a group of folks that are in that area that are interested in doing this work. And I do a lot of work with our high school students, which are typically seniors. So they're turning 18 rather soon if they aren't already. But I'd like to do some personal reaches to them, since the electronic reach didn't really draw a lot of attention for them. And talk with their teachers, because we still work closely together. Their school years are all wrapping up, but I do summer intern work with many of them. So I still have continued communication. So it isn't that summer happens and everybody goes away. Gosh, I don't even know what that's like. The thought for a moment caught me though. So I think I'm hopeful to have more attendance on next Thursday's call from more of the youth that would be involved in doing this type of work.
Yeah, thank you so much, because
They're out there.
Yeah, I know. We're trying to get to them. Tiffany did a great video. We pushed out on Instagram and Facebook. Kylene's done one that we're going to release today. Dr. Robert Pimentel from Fresno City College recorded one this morning. As you know, and God bless him, he says, I usually don't do stuff like this, but I think this is a great program, and I want to help our students make change. So he ended up doing great as well. So I'm seeing from the different organizations that they want to participate, and their messages has been, our youth want to engage. So we're doing social media on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and we're trying to reach out via email. So any channels that you have, Chris, please reach out to me or Lori or Eddie, and we'll make sure that because we've got email messages crafted already, at least you don't have to start from scratch. So we have a like a colleague to colleague email. right? And then we have like one of us to a kid's email, which you can never really write an email like a teenager or a young kid like wants to, right? Without sounding like old guy. But we've got a lot of these assets. We've got videos. Thanks for reminding me, Steve, right? We've got some YouTube videos that you can see that different people, like everybody's leaning in to help them, you know, but they just got, you know, as I always tell my students, you got to show up for something good to happen, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you, Chris. We'll follow up on that and get you every resource that you need.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome so much. Any other questions or comments I held up to the end? Anna, do you have any questions? Go Dodgers. Yeah, right. All right. Well, I just want to make sure everybody gets a chance to ask questions, and you know, even if they come later, you've got emails that are available. We are here. We are available, and we look forward to working with you in the very near future. Right, Lori?
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Look forward to seeing you on screen again.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now. Have a wonderful day.
You as well.
Thank you.